The last session, now I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Manoj Karkhanis, to put some light on the complex issue of Brexit in common man's language.
Thank you for having me over this afternoon. It was a pleasure to join you. To avoid a longer introduction, personally, I thought I'll run a quick audio visual. Also, I thought I should introduce you to Decimal Factor because we are always looking for talented people, and obviously, you guys will come out of your management institutions, and there will be opportunities, and we look forward to welcoming you into Decimal Factor in the future, and would love you to come and join us on your careers. So very quickly, I'm going to take this couple of minutes to do two things, right? Firstly, I would like to comment on the lovely presentations that happened this morning, and some of you presented. Obviously, it was a pleasure to learn the basic concepts of how economy works. And let me tell you, we run financial services businesses. I'm regulated and authorized by the FCA. I have a license in the UK, I have a license in Dubai. We're in 5 countries, but still today, there were so many things I'm going to take home from what Dilip presented. Thank you, Dilip, for that. On a lighter note, when you presented the slide for the various economies, you presented Europe, Germany, and Netherlands, and I thought Germany and Netherlands were part of Europe. We've not yet Brexited, have we? So that is on a lighter note. But let me just quickly touch upon the 2 tutors who did a fantastic job. I think you talked about the deficit, which was absolutely true. Minford analysis of there's still a positive in the negative. Kenneth, I think I love the way you ended it by saying panic also causes a lot of issues, but one of the most important issues it can cause is to change the government. So hope that doesn't happen. Let's pray for that. Elena, I think, pounds, inflation, very, very, very nicely captured. I have not much comments on that. Marion, you spoke about EU and UK market comparisons, and I think they made a lot of sense to me. I think, I liked your presentation, and it was some points that I'm going to take back home. Adrian, you seem to be the star. Big clap for Adrian, I think. I'm also trying to be on his right side because he's the most popular, yeah? So I hope that'll rub off. But 2 analogies that you brought up, and that I think I want to just take a few minutes to comment on that. The first analogy that you brought on was the husband-wife comparison. You said if you separate, then the relation always goes south. I don't agree with that because I have separated. And let me tell you, my wife and me have been better friends than we were in the same bedroom.
Then it's not Brexit.
No, it's been a hard Brexit. The point I'm trying to bring is on a lighter note, and in your analogy, is that, 2 people, if they can't get together, they're better off without getting together and staying in the same room. You see? And if you have that understanding, then it can work to the better rather than the bad. So I won't stress that analogy because that will go further down. But it's yes, while separation can be bad, separation can also bring good. And let's hope, let's keep this kind of openness to both the results. I'm not going with one or the other. The second you said is EU and UK trade, will get hurt. And I don't agree with that. Simple because EU exports to UK and UK imports from Europe 150 billion worth of, whatever it does, import. And then the other way around, UK exports to Europe 100 billion. Both want the business. So at the end of the day, there will be, whether negotiated, not negotiated, always they say, water finds its level. And at the end of the day, there will be an openness towards business because if both are going to be silly about it, it's going to hurt both. So on that respect, it's a bit equally balanced. and we'll see where it goes. Last but not least, again, I'm just commenting on the students that they've said, and the last two, but not the least, Andrea. I think it was a perfect summary. I couldn't summarize well. I cannot say anything more about what you said about the bound. Absolutely perfect. And Maria, I think completely right when you say about low skills and high skills. So that's the comments on the students. I think I'm taking more than trying to give back, and I think though you may have a different view and I may have a different view, I do agree with what you have to say and what has been agreed in consensus, because that's the best way to do in consensus. But I will come away from this very quickly. I just want to refocus ourselves on the topic. We have come here today, and I see a lot of people discussing Brexit or no Brexit. That's not the topic. That topic happened 3 years ago. There was a vote 2 years ago, and the democracy has spoken, right? Now, whether the democracy has spoken right or wrong, whether the vote was right or wrong is a secondary question. The thing is, there's no longer a debate on whether there is Brexit or not. Really, the question now is, where are we on Brexit? And, so today when I was just going through it in the morning and I said, I'm going to speak on this. I looked at the nice poster, which you can see here, confused. I said, hang on a minute, even I'm confused. What am I going to speak in this seminar? Because I'm equally confused as everyone in this room as to what is happening with Brexit. Does anybody know what's happening with Brexit?
No.
One hand up, please, at least.
Yeah, I think UK is something saying like, please don't let me go.
Right. So, okay, that could be one. So let me quickly bring what I understand and get a bit of homework after that. And basically, there looks to be three options. Now, again, it's just happened yesterday. Big analysts and the topmost analysts are analyzing it, and there will be different versions of that will come out in the day. There's there's a march today in UK, so it's a very, very hot topic. But let me bring up three specific areas, which I think where we are today. We are not deciding whether Brexit or not. We have decided that we want to do a Brexit. The question is, where does that stand? Because we are a few days away from the deadline, which was 29th. Now, EU has come back yesterday with three options. One, no deal Brexit, and UK is out on the 12th of April, that's number one. Two, you accept the deal, which goes to vote next week, and you exit on the 22nd of May. The third is, you participate in the EU elections. And that could result into three things. Evoke the Article 50, that's option 4. Longer exit periods and longer Brexit, that could be option 5. And a new referendum, that would be option 6. So, to answer that question which is on the board, confused, at least today after reading a lot, I've come to this conclusion that there are 6 different possibilities. But actually, there are only 3 main questions. No Brexit, Brexit with the withdrawal agreement that has been agreed, or participate in the elections of EU. So these are the 3 questions that will be in front of the Parliament next week, and depending on how that is voted, 6 different things could happen. But 2 which I've summarized, and 3 that I've summarized separately if we participate in the EU elections. Let's have a quick look about what EU is saying about this, okay? Angela Merkel, she says that the bloc must do whatever it is possible to do to avoid a hard Brexit. So that's a good news, because nobody wants Brexit, neither UK nor EU, and nobody wants, most importantly, that relationship to be shattered. And everybody's trying to say, okay, fine, we're going to part like adults, and we're not going to harm each other. How do we do that? Macron, on the other, says that May's deal may not be approved next week, and we are going to see a no Brexit deal. And the moment he said that, the pound fell down by 1.3% yesterday. So there are these extreme views about, it's probably going to have, either way, it's going to be either that we'll all work towards something good, Or the other option is that, oh, okay, fine, the Parliament will decide between the two questions. And there are some other views as well, which I'm not going to go into. But very quickly, somebody said in their speeches this morning that 4 million votes today, but 52% of this whole country has voted for Brexit, and another 48, which is a couple of millions, a couple of 10 millions. So 4 millions is fine. I mean, people are now like trying to look back and do what they can. But the reality is that this is a topic very sensitive to each one of us. Every one of you is going to be affected by that. I'm going to be affected by that. You're going to be affected by that. And everybody is very, very nervous about it. But I don't think it's all bad news. I really don't think it's really bad news. There are three possibilities. One, that the Parliament may say that, we are going to go with the withdrawal agreement that is there. In which case, not all is bad about the agreement. Its withdrawal agreement doesn't mean what agreement will be in the future. So there are two things. One is withdrawing from the agreement, and two, making a new relationship with EU. I think that is, in my opinion, and that's what I'm hoping now where we are, whether it should do Brexit or should not do Brexit is the past. Today I'm faced with a situation where the member of the parliaments are going to vote next week, and I would say that my best result to see next week, I personally would want to see, is that they vote for a deal Brexit, because then you're like adults agreeing a way of parting and then sitting down to figure out how we can put the relationship right, and you're doing it more maturely rather than haphazardly. The second is no Brexit. It's a very uncertain space, but having said that, it's not all bad. We will walk out, there will be some shocks, but then you'll have to sit down and rework how we're going to work those arrangements. But between the two, given a choice, I would prefer sitting like adults, agreeing a withdrawal agreement, may not be the best one, taking that now and seeing that, we renegotiate. The third option is also something that may just come out and that may be more likely than the other two options. And that is that Britain might just decide to participate in the European elections. And with that, what happens is you leave open for three things. One, to revoke the Article 50. Two, either to be a part of a new referendum. Or three, to have a longer but a more planned out Brexit. So this is where that question, that's come out. What is really going to happen? These are the scenarios. I'm very happy to take any questions that you may have regarding the Brexit, or what's going to happen with Brexit, or what is happening with Brexit, rather than should we Brexit or not, because guys, that's done. The democracy has spoken. And there is a very good saying, there's a saying that, you and us, when we discuss, I express my views, you express your views. We like adults understand each other's view. But if we have voted for something together, and that is the final view, whether or not we agree, we abide by it and stand up, because democracy is more important than the issue. So I think that's the best summary, unfortunately, we can have, is that we have a decision, we've got to work with that decision. The three options to Parliament are Brexit. If we Brexit with the withdrawal agreement, we are exiting on the 22nd of May. That actually happens to be my birthday, the best birthday gift I'd love to have. Second is that we have a no deal Brexit, and that is the 12th of 12th of April. And if these two things are not happening, if they just don't want to take a decision, then 11th May, UK will be confronted with a decision whether to participate in the EU elections or not, and that's the third. So that's exactly where we stand. Yes, everything else is very unsettled. Thank you for having me. I'm not going to take any more, and hopefully, see you and most of you who would want to further your careers through Mr. Amdekar, please do join us at Decimal Factor. We look forward to looking at your applications and having some of the management students from this university. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm just going to state the economic problem in exactly 7-8 minutes. What are the Brexiteers like Rees-Mogg and Boris Johnson and all of them saying? They are saying the trading agreements today are made by EU, are negotiated by EU. Point number one, we are better than EU in diplomatic terms in making agreements. We have ruled this 25% of the entire population of the world. We ruled large. We had a big empire, and we know exactly what is diplomacy, and we can negotiate better than EU. That is point number one they are making. Point number two, they are saying that whatever be the reduction of trade, if at all it happens, what is the Brexiteers' view? They're thinking that Europe is getting a lot of money because England is importing a lot of things from Europe. All the BMWs come from there, all the Mercedes come from there, all the Volkswagen come from there, and everything comes from there. So Europe cannot afford to ignore UK as a market. So Europe is just threatening. They're not going. You don't cut your nose to spite your face. So they're not. The trade with UK will continue, and because we have got a special relationship with what you call the Commonwealth countries, and we have got a special relationship with the United States, we will be able to do a direct free trade agreement with the United States, which EU cannot do. We will be able to have, because we are Commonwealth countries and we ruled all those countries, we have got a special relationship with them. But in my opinion, what Britain thinks is that others' wealth is common to them. The Commonwealth countries' wealth is common to them. That is what they think. But they think that they have got a special relationship, and as a result of which, free trade will happen. What does that mean? That Boris Johnson goes to a temple and says that, remember one thing, that India charges 150% import duty on liquor. What I'm going to do is this, I'm going to make a free trade agreement with India. Then what will happen? Liquor will come to India with a 0% duty. The prices of liquor will go down and our sales will increase this big. Because all these Indians drink a lot of whiskey. They're fond of scotch. All this is daydreaming. That is daydreaming. That is never going to happen. However, this is an entrepreneurship decision. They are saying that we are entrepreneurs. We will make this fly. And we will ensure that there will be more trade than before. There will be not even loss of trade. We will keep the EU trade as it is, and on top of it, build trade with India, build trade with China, and build trade with America on a free trade basis, which the EU cannot do. That is the crux of the economic problem here. So basically, this is like something. I say that I have got this project. Now, he is an entrepreneur. He believes in his project. He wants to make his project fly. So every entrepreneur thinks that his project is going to work, and that will reap him a lot of money. Exactly the same here. What they are saying is that we will cut the bureaucracy, what EU has. We will cut out all the bureaucracy. We have ruled the world. We know how to trade, and that is what we will do. However, there are two things in this. There is a proven scientific theory, absolutely proven, that Most of the trade what you do is with your neighboring countries. Can you believe that the size of New Zealand and size of Greece in terms of economic size, etc., is nearly the same? But UK trades 5 times more with Greece than with New Zealand. And New Zealand's head of the state is the Queen. New Zealand, there are a lot of Englishmen in New Zealand. Despite all that, New Zealand is an English-speaking country and not a Greek-speaking country. Despite all that, it trades more with Greece. The same is the case with all the other countries. Wherever the countries are nearby, the trade happens. Distance is a big factor, what you call a barrier to trading. That is the reality. Another thing what these people are forgetting basically is, we have that president called Donald Trump, who is God's gift to mankind, probably. Yeah. So, what is he doing? What is his theme? America first. He does not want anything to come from China. He has slapped import duties on China. Just 1 and a half months back, he slapped import duties on nearly 5.7 billion worth of goods on India. Yeah? So, do you know what is the situation basically with America now? Because he slapped the import duties on China, China retaliated and stopped buying the entire, soya from China, stopped importing the soya. Today, millions and millions of tons of soya are stocked in America. No, it's just not selling. That industry was worth a few billions, come to a complete grinding halt because of the import duties. Who is selling that now in China? Brazil. So the question is this, that when the theme of America basically is America first, are they going to accept a free trade agreement with UK? Are they going to allow free access of goods from here to the UK? Yeah, that will only come only if they are sure that they can export more to UK. In short, let me tell you one thing, that this trade is a war. The countries don't trade. Do you know, India, EU has been trying to make a free trade agreement with India from 2007. They gave up. They say it's not possible to make a free trade agreement. Now, UK is trying to say that we will make a free trade agreement where Europe has failed. If you have confidence that you have strong wings and you can fly, it's fine. But entrepreneurs are like that. And this is, to be honest, whether economically UK will benefit or not is going to be an entrepreneurship decision. Will the trade with America increase multiple times? Today, America is #1 trading company. With country-wise, it's #1. Out of the 10 top countries who trade with UK, only 2 are from outside. One is China and one is America. All the other 8 countries are European. Yeah. Now, are you going to defy the theory, the proven theory, that you trade more with your neighboring countries? Are you going to defy that? I don't know. So, see, this is what makes, when somebody thought that he's going to set up a company, you laugh at it. Microsoft started from a garage. Yeah, but if he would have told you that he is going to make hundreds of billions, you would have laughed at it. Yeah, but it happened. So, basically the question is, are the entrepreneurs? And remember one thing, the politicians just facilitate trade by making agreements to some extent. Ultimately, everything boils down to only one question. It is the people, the entrepreneurs who trade. It is not the politicians who trade. It is the entrepreneurs who are going to set up factories. So, whether you have those entrepreneurial skills or not is the key question. Whether you think you can fly or not is the key question. If you think you can, mostly you can. Yeah? So it's a question of what your heart says, and not exactly looking at the previous the track records. So I've already mentioned to you that India has got so many products on which the import duties are anywhere between 60% and 150%. So many products. Now, how is Britain going to trade with India on a free trade agreement? What have they got to offer? So, in short, trade is a war. The wars are fought basically, sometimes slyly on the side without anybody knowing, but the entire object is to get as much benefit as much possible for every country. So, in all this is now going to result in a trade war. How it is going to end, we don't know. But I agree with him that the correct way forward is now that the decision is taken, you have to stick to your decision, right? Because you ask the people. So you have to stick to that, and any case, the people of Britain will have to ensure that their qualifications are very good, their skill sets are very good. Not only the skill sets are good, their productivity improves. All these things will automatically contribute to Britain becoming more competitive. Let me tell you, here we have got cars which are what we call are made on a Friday afternoon, when the worker has eyes set on the drink rather than standing there and making the car. So when BMW purchased Land Rover and Jaguar, they said that the productivity of the British worker is 35% lower than the German worker. So the question before us is to improve that and raise our basically competitiveness, and Britain will win. This is the only country, remember, this is the only country which has great in its name. There is not a single country in the world which is called great. This is the only country. And they can do it. Not that they can't do it. They can do it. However, what it requires currently is not there in enough extent. That is all what I would like to conclude.
Thank you.
Thank you. Word of thanks. Firstly, I extend a very hearty word of thanks to our today's keynote speaker, Mr. Manoj Karkhanis, who took out valuable time and shared valuable thoughts on this confusing topic. Thank you very much, sir. I also would like to thank our dean, Mr. Dilip Amdekar. He is 24/7 walking, talking encyclopedia. So the way he explained the basic concept is exemplary. He truly explained in a common man's language. So thank you very much, sir. Lastly, I would like to thank all the Allgate staff, students for your support and valuable contribution. Thank you very much. You can grab food, it's available outside. It's lunchtime, I know. So, hip hip, hooray, and thank you very much for everything.